Welcome to the Edith Letters.
Light red carnations on the tablecloth, and a handwritten letter, oh that's fading art. It says, to my dearest.
Welcome to letter 6 of the Edith Letters. First off, this is a troublesome letter. Let's just say that there could be a huge conflict. So this letter is a little bit different than the previous love letters. If you are new here, if this is your first time watching one of the Edith Letters, I recommend that you pause and go watch the introduction video. That way you will kind of know what's going on, and watch 1 through 5 first. Again, you kind of know what's going on if you watch these letters in order. There is a playlist, so just click on the introduction and go from there. The fun thing about this for you guys watching this for the first time is you don't have to wait a week for the next letter. Well, you will for letter 7, but you get to watch the first 6 without having to wait a week. I upload the Edith Letters, 1 letter every Sunday. I hope that you hit the subscribe button and the bell notification button so that you do know what time the Edith letter does go up, because it's not always the same time. My dear Edith May, I interrupt this letter. We just found out her middle name, May. Probably noticed that he's never started the letter with Edith May. It's almost like a parent when a child is in trouble and they say their full name or use their middle name when they're in trouble. You know what I'm talking about. Makes you wonder. All right, back to the letter. Well, here goes. I don't know how to start this, but I will at least make a stab at it anyway. I am in not much of a mind for writing letters this morning. In fact, I haven't been all week so far, so you will have to excuse this one if it does not meet with your qualifications of a good letter. You are probably wondering what I meant by saying that I was not in a good mind for writing. Well, the whole reason is Saturday night, October 31st, Halloween. Every time I think of it, I get more of a grouch on than ever, and I am thinking of it all the time. So you can imagine how I feel today. Sometimes I think that you wanted it that way, but hope always shows up that you didn't. I would not mind it on some other night so much, but on Halloween and the fellow, that gets me. I suppose I had ought to be satisfied that I got a date with you for Friday. Well, let's say that I am anyway. That will probably help some. As to church idea, you take that rather lightly, but probably don't realize the reason back of it all. What I get out of it is that I am not good enough for you. Ooh, I told you. Juicy, juicy, juicy. Okay, that part's not in the letter. If that is not the case, I want you to tell me so, because I don't want to cause you nor your family any humiliation just because you had been seen with me at some time or another. Ooh. Your own decision will show me my whole future. Good or bad will not make me feel any worse than I do now. It has been done before, and it can be done again. The privileges of studying down here at the office has also been taken away from me too. That alone is bad enough without all this other stuff. I think I will sign off now. It is almost time for lunch. Please say what you want to say in English so that I can understand you. Always as ever, and then answer this soon. Okay. He did not end the letter with X's or love always or yours truly, just as ever. And you notice that he is saying, and write back in English, because we all know that she's taking French. And by the last couple letters, she's thrown in French that he's trying to figure out and decipher. And you can tell in the previous letters that he almost feels like she's doing it to reiterate that she's getting this nice education that he most likely didn't get. Okay, I'm going to show you a couple things in the letter because I always like to show you how he's written something. And then we're going to get to the juicy stuff. We're gonna discuss this because this is not like the other mushy gushy letters, is it? Notice how he spells night. I may have pointed this out in other letters, but he does spell night as, I think I have pointed out that he does not use the IGHT in night. Okay, I want to reiterate his almost sarcasm when he says, let's say that anyway. I think those are the words he used. Yeah, that I am anyway. So he's pretty well with those lines underneath, being a little sarcastic. He is stressing that he wants this letter answered soon. I think I'm going to have to use one of his phrases, getting his grouch on. Like I get my grouch on instead of saying grouchy. He had a date with her on Friday night, but evidently on Halloween, Saturday night, she went out with somebody else. So he's not taking that well. I kind of feel so bad for him because you know how he is totally devoted to her. He doesn't like mention like anything about the fellow other than he's, you know, that she went out with somebody else, and he's totally not happy with that at all. And then to make matters worse, you know, he had been studying because he's taken some type of classes or something, and he'd been studying during work time. He would go to the basement, if you remember some of the other letters, and study, but evidently he's not allowed to do that anymore. So that's put that on top of the fact that his girl has went out with somebody else. And I also feel so bad for him that he feels like she feels that he is beneath her, because he talks about how he's not good enough for her, that that her family is basically humiliated by him. And it's like, why? I wish so much we had her letters. I'd love to know why he feels like he is not good enough for her, other than something must have been said about them being seen together. We know from a previous letter that definitely her mom doesn't sound like she is on his side whatsoever, that maybe she is the issue. So what are your thoughts on that? I'd love to hear how you guys are taking the letter, what you're gathering out of it. I really get the sense of how annoyed he is when she writes French. And again, it could be just because of his mood. You know, he's obviously grouchy. He said so itself, that he felt like the letter wasn't going to be a good letter for her, but you can tell he's getting this stuff off his chest. So what will the next letter bring? I mean, we're basically in kind of a little, we won't say a quarrel, but something's going on with them because she went out with somebody else on Halloween. Okay, so there you have it. This is a perfect reason to hit that subscribe button so that you know what the next letter brings. And I've never stated how many letters there are, but if you've seen the intro, you know how big or small the stack is. So there is lots to come. Well, that was kind of a spoiler, wasn't it? All right, so if you're new to the Life's a Whirlwind channel, obviously this is not all we do here. Normally our channel is full of traveling and exploring, going to different places, just basically traveling and all of our adventures of our family. And we're actually getting ready to leave this week for Pennsylvania. It is actually my son's 16th birthday trip. Normally we spend it at Disney World, but we decided to do something different. We're going to Hershey Park and we're visiting Amish country. There's another reason to hit the subscribe button, because of course I'm taking you guys along, and we're going to be doing some pretty cool things while we're there. So I think you may want to check those out. All right, guys, until the next letter.